Every day you wake up with the same gift that the most brilliant minds in history received. 24 hours, no more, no less. And yet some people rise, transform industries, build empires, change nations, reshape their destiny, while others feel trapped, rushed, overwhelmed, or stuck. The difference is never in the number of hours. The difference is in how consciously, courageously, and strategically those hours are shaped. Time does not obey talent, it obeys clarity. Time does not respond to excuses, it responds to decisions. When you begin treating your 24 hours as the most valuable currency in the universe itself begins to behave differently with you. You start noticing opportunities that were always there but invisible. You start feeling a shift inside you, as if your inner world is telepathically communicating with the outer world, pulling the right people, ideas, and moments into your orbit because you are finally operating with intention instead of impulse. And intention is the language of geniuses. They don't sit and wait for inspiration, they design it into their day. If you want to master your 24 hours, you first have to understand that most people don't lose time because of laziness, they lose it because of confusion. They don't know what truly matters to them, so they waste hours reacting to someone else's priorities. They don't rise with a purpose, they rise with notifications, noise, and the demands of others. But the moment you decide that your life is too important to be lived on autopilot, everything begins to change. You stop chasing small distractions because your spirit finally has something bigger to run toward. You begin to understand that every minute is a negotiation between who you are and who you want to become. And if you choose your future self in each decision, your time expands. It feels richer, deeper, more powerful, because your energy is no longer scattered. It is directed like a laser beam. You must wake up understanding that you are not just starting a day, you are sculpting a destiny. And destinies are shaped in small, invisible choices that nobody sees. Successful people don't magically get more time. They simply invest their time where it multiplies instead of where it evaporates. They understand that the first hour of the day is not just an hour, it is the throne on which the rest of the day sits. If you start your morning by feeding your mind, grounding your spirit, and aligning your intentions with the universe, you gain a level of control that others cannot comprehend. While the world sleeps mentally, scrolling, reacting, drifting, you will be awake internally, connected to the higher intelligence that guides people who dare to listen. This isn't superstition, it is alignment. It is the simple truth that when you decide to be deliberate, the world becomes deliberate with you. Mastering your 24 hours means mastering your emotional state. Because if your emotions control your day, then your day controls your life, and your life becomes a series of reactions rather than creations. A genius is not someone who knows everything, but someone who knows how to protect their mind from chaos. They don't push away fear, they transform it into fuel. They don't run from uncertainty, they use it to awaken creativity. And they are not afraid to be different, because they know that originality takes time, focus, and self-belief. You cannot master your 24 hours if you are constantly trying to fit into a world you were born to stand out in. You must create a schedule that honors your talents, not one that imitates the comfort of others. Comfort steals more time than failure ever will. There is a powerful truth about time. The universe rewards people who use it with respect. When you commit to growth, ideas begin to show up in your mind like unexpected guests. When you commit to discipline, strength appears inside you that you never knew existed. When you commit to action, resources start to meet you halfway. The world opens up for the person who proves they are serious. And you prove it with how you spend your hours. Your 24 hours are a mirror reflecting your mindset. If your hours are filled with distraction, your life becomes a blur. If your hours are filled with intention, your life becomes a masterpiece. You must also learn to protect your time with the same intensity you would protect your most precious treasure, because it is your most precious treasure. People will ask for your time casually, but the cost to you is never casual. Every hour you give away to something meaningless steals an hour from your greatness. Every minute spent on drama steals a minute from your destiny. You must become fearless in saying no, not because you don't care, but because you care too much about the life you are building. Geniuses don't fear disappointing people. They fear disappointing their purpose. And when you put purpose first, people eventually respect you more, not less. The universe has a strange way of testing your seriousness. When you decide to upgrade your life, distractions increase. Old habits return. Noise becomes louder. This is not a sign to give up. It is a sign that you are rising. The pressure is proof of transformation. Your job is to stay aligned, stay intentional, stay deeply connected to that inner voice that knows where you belong. Because when you honor that voice consistently, your 24 hours begin to work for you, not against you. Time becomes your ally instead of your enemy. And this shift, this internal revolution, is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. When you begin organizing your day around your mission, something magical happens. You enter flow. Hours feel shorter, but your progress grows faster. You feel guided. It's as if life itself starts sending you clues, nudging you toward opportunities, whispering insights, and clearing paths that once seemed blocked. This is not coincidence. This is coherence between your mind, your actions, and the universe. People call it manifestation, but the truth is simpler. When your focus becomes pure, your results become inevitable. You must stop waiting for motivation to show up. Motivation is a guest, discipline is family. Motivation visits, discipline stays. If you depend on feeling ready, you will waste years. But if you act with consistency, readiness will eventually follow you. Every successful person you admire mastered their 24 hours before the world noticed them. They built habits when nobody was watching. They sacrificed comforts that others worshipped. They chose growth over ease, purpose over noise, mastery over distraction. And the price they paid every day became the reward they live every day. Time is not just something you spend, it is something you shape. And when you shape it consciously, it shapes you back into the person you were always capable of becoming. When you finally realize that every hour is a doorway and every decision is a key, you stop drifting and you start designing. You begin to understand that genius is not an accident, it is a pattern repeated with devotion. The people who master their 24 hours do not rely on willpower alone. They build systems around themselves that make success automatic. They eliminate the need to negotiate with their weakness. They create routines that protect their ambition. They set boundaries that guard their focus. They make it impossible to fail by making the environment supportive of their goals. And once your environment supports your purpose becomes unstoppable. This is how extraordinary lives are built. Not from one huge moment of brilliance, but from thousands of small, silent victories over distraction, fear, and old habits. These victories compound. They grow like a hidden force. And one day, the world sees what you have been quietly becoming all along. Mastering your 24 hours also means understanding that not all hours are created equal. There are hours when your mind is sharp, your spirit is awake, your energy is high, and your creativity flows effortlessly. These are your power hours. Guard them. Use them for your biggest tasks, your deepest thinking, your boldest ideas. Then there are hours when your energy dips, when you feel slower or heavier. These are recovery hours. Use them intentionally for lighter tasks, reflection, planning, or rest. Geniuses work with their mind, not against it. They do not force productivity, they orchestrate it. They know their rhythm and they honor it. When you learn your peak hours, you stop wasting strength. You begin producing more in 3 focused hours than some people do in 3 distracted days. But here is the truth most people avoid. You cannot master your hours if you cannot master your mind. A busy mind cannot lead a powerful life. If your thoughts constantly jump, your results will scatter. If your attention is constantly stolen, your destiny will be too. The ability to focus deeply is one of the rarest and most valuable skills in the modern world. Every notification is a thief. Every distraction is a tax. Every unnecessary conversation, every pointless argument, every moment spent consuming instead of creating has a cost. You must train your mind like a warrior trains his instincts. When you sit to work, you enter a different zone. When you decide to rest, you rest fully. When you choose to learn, you learn with intensity. And when you speak to the universe through your actions, the universe responds with opportunities that match your discipline. The transformation becomes even more powerful when you realize that the external world is always echoing your internal world. If your mind is cluttered, your day becomes chaotic. If your mind is calm, your day becomes clear. If your mind is hungry, your day becomes productive. This is the telepathic connection that many ignore. Your thoughts broadcast your intention, and your environment rearranges itself to match your frequency. When you think like a victim, your hours become heavy. When you think like a creator, your hours become fertile. It is not magic, it is alignment. It is the subtle but profound truth that life bends toward those who stand firmly in their purpose. Mastering your 24 hours requires courage. Courage to say no. Courage to let go of old identities. Courage to pursue what truly matters rather than what momentarily entertains you. You cannot become extraordinary with ordinary habits. You cannot unlock your potential while carrying excuses. You cannot rise to greatness while defending your limitations. Some people spend years protecting the very habits that steal their dreams. But when you finally decide to release them, you create space for a new version of yourself. A version that thinks bigger, moves faster, speaks with conviction, and acts with purpose. This version of you has always been waiting. It only needed time. And now you are giving it the right time. As you grow, your hours must grow with you. Your schedule should evolve as your dreams evolve. What worked last year may not work this year. What was enough for an average life is not enough for an extraordinary one. You must consistently refine your priorities. Ask yourself often, is this aligned with who I am becoming? If the answer is no, remove it. Your future is too important to be delayed by outdated habits. There is power in subtraction. When you remove the unnecessary, the necessary becomes unstoppable. This is how geniuses think, not in terms of how much they can add, but how precisely they can design. And remember, people who master time never wait for the perfect moment. They create it. They understand that clarity comes from action, not overthinking. They know that the next step reveals itself only after they take the current one. Every hour you hesitate is an hour someone else uses to rise. Every hour you doubt is an hour your dream quietly drifts away from you. But every hour you choose courage pushes that dream closer until one day it becomes your reality. And that day doesn't come by chance, it comes by design. Your 24 hours are the canvas on which you paint your entire destiny. Some people paint with hesitation, some paint with fear, some paint with laziness, but you must paint with intention, boldness, and faith. The universe responds to the artist who paints with purpose. And when you begin living like this, something remarkable happens. Your days stop feeling like obligations and start feeling like opportunities. You stop counting hours and start using them. You stop surviving time and start commanding it. This is how you rise. This is how you transform. This is how you master your 24 hours like a genius. When you begin treating your hours as sacred, you start moving differently. You no longer rush through your day hoping to catch up. You move with a calm confidence that comes from knowing you are in control. You stop allowing the world to dictate the pace of your life. Instead, you set the rhythm. You set the direction. You choose what enters your mind and what gets access to your energy. And this shift is not loud. It is subtle, powerful, and transformative. People around you won't understand at first. They may say you've changed, and they will be right, because mastery always requires a shift in identity. You cannot hold on to the habits of your old self and expect the results of your future self. You must evolve mentally, emotionally, strategically, until your days reflect the greatness you are reaching for. Once you commit to mastering your 24 hours, your decisions get sharper. You begin asking higher quality questions. Does this move me closer to my vision? Is this worthy of my time? Am I acting like the person I want to become? These questions cut through confusion like a blade. They protect you from distractions disguised as opportunities. They help you choose progress over pleasure, growth over comfort, purpose over impulse. And suddenly, your life gains momentum. The small steps that once felt insignificant now carry enormous weight. Because consistency turns ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. The genius is not the one who works in chaos. It is the one who repeatedly creates order out of chaos. It is the person who can build discipline out of desire, structure out of ambition, and results out of routine. There is a truth about time most people don't want to face. If you do not schedule your priorities, someone else will schedule them for you. Every day, the world pulls at you. Advertisements, entertainment, drama, conversations, obligations. And if you are not intentional, you will spend your hours solving problems that are not yours and fighting battles that have nothing to do with your destiny. You must protect your mental territory. Your mind is your kingdom, and your time is its currency. If you let just anyone spend it, the kingdom collapses. But if you guard it with wisdom, you build a foundation so strong that nothing can shake it. And you must understand this deeply. Mastery is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters. Many people confuse busyness with productivity. They run, they rush, they multitask, but they achieve very little. Their days are full, but their destiny is empty. Geniuses move differently. They don't chase 10 things, they master 2. They don't try to appear productive, they produce. They don't drown in activity, they rise through clarity. If you want to master your 24 hours, you must eliminate the noise that steals your power. Simplicity is not weakness, it is precision. And precision builds legacies. As your relationship with time deepens, something profound begins to happen. You start valuing silence. Not the silence of boredom, but the silence of clarity. In silence, your mind becomes a mirror. You see your intentions more clearly, your fears more honestly, your dreams more vividly. Silence allows your inner voice to become louder than the noise of the world. It enables the universe to whisper guidance in ways you couldn't hear before. This is where telepathic intuition begins to sharpen. You start sensing what decisions are right before you logically understand them. You feel when to move, when to pause, when to push harder, and when to shift direction. This inner intelligence is one of the greatest gifts you can develop. And it only appears when your hours are managed with purpose. And once you start trusting that inner intelligence, your confidence grows. Not the kind of confidence that comes from compliments or achievements, but the confidence that comes from self-respect. The confidence that forms when your actions honor your vision. When you consistently keep promises to yourself, you become unstoppable. You no longer fear failure because you are too focused on growth. You no longer fear judgment because you are too aligned with your purpose. You no longer fear time slipping away because you have learned how to command it. Mastering your 24 hours is also about mastering transitions. The moments between tasks that most people waste without noticing. Those few minutes you scroll, those extra moments you procrastinate, those small delays you justify, these are silent thieves. But when you discipline your transitions, you gain a hidden advantage. You enter tasks with clarity, you exit them with satisfaction, and you move through your day with an elegance that others admire but cannot explain. It is not magic, it is intentional living. It is the art of moving from moment to moment without losing yourself. And as you continue this journey of mastery, you will feel something extraordinary. Your days begin to carry a different frequency. Your energy feels cleaner. Your mind feels sharper. Your spirit feels more guided. It's like stepping into a version of life where the air is lighter and the path is clearer. You begin to experience flow more often. You start noticing synchronicities, things aligning at the perfect moment, opportunities falling into place, people showing up exactly when you need them. This is not coincidence, this is coherence. This is what happens when your hours align with your purpose. Slowly, you become the kind of person who doesn't chase time, but attracts results. People around you will ask how you do so much with the same hours they have. They will wonder why you seem to move with such certainty. They won't realize that the secret is not hidden in your schedule. It is hidden in your mindset. Because once your mind evolves, your hours follow. Once your focus sharpens, your results accelerate. Once your intention strengthens, your destiny unfolds. And all of this begins with a simple yet powerful decision: to stop surviving your hours and start mastering them. This is the path. This is the transformation. This is the rise, and you are already on your way.